Hello everybody, welcome back to the Nibiru channel. It is November 25th, 2016, and the North and South Pole are now melting at a rapid pace, more than it's usual. And there are several countries that are already inhabiting the South Pole. I've discovered the South Pole Treaty, or as they call it, the Antarctica Treaty. Now, the reason why? Well, let's just look at it this way. There's a very large landmass under the South Pole, meaning when all of that ice melts, there will be an entire country or multiple countries. Now, the same does not apply for the North Pole, and you will clearly see that later on in this video. They are already inhabiting the South Pole, and new life is now forming on the South Pole region. Watch this video based on the South Pole first, then you will see the video pertaining to the North Pole.
Here we've seen mean annual temperatures rise by about 3 degrees Celsius over the past 50 years, which is something like 5 times as fast as global average temperatures have risen over that period.
As a result, huge chunks of ice are breaking off the continent. In March 2008, the Wilkins ice shelf, about the size of Connecticut, broke away from the mainland. And while melting icebergs do not increase the world's sea level, land ice, such as Pine Island Glacier, does.
The current amount of water being input into the ocean from Pine Island Glacier alone, it's contributing a net 46 gigatons of water to the sea every year.
If this one glacier were to melt completely, it alone would add 1.5 meters, or nearly 5 feet, to the world's sea level. And while this represents a significant threat to mankind, the flora and fauna of Antarctica are experiencing a genesis.
With these plants, I mean, they may have been carried in by wind and that sort of thing for hundreds of years, but with warmer temperatures, you get the melting of the snow and thus exposing rock, soil, allowing these seeds or spores to establish themselves and grow in areas where they would never have been before.
Global warming may very well be giving rise to new life here in the world's largest desert, but at what cost to the rest of the world?
Well, that was very interesting. Now, let's take a look at the North Pole. Like I was saying in the beginning of the video, if the North Pole melts completely, well, there's no land mass under the North Pole. It is basically an ocean. So you need land for life.
It's been the warmest year on record, a NASA scientist has said, and ice in the Arctic Sea is expected to bear the brunt of it. The Arctic is one of the most visible signs of a changing planet, warming twice as fast as anywhere else in the world. Over the past 3 decades, the amount of sea ice there has dramatically declined. This year, Walt Meyer says, we're on track to see the least of it. Without ice, the Arctic loses its cooling mechanism. The implications are both widespread and devastating.
And basically, it's like we're opening up the refrigerator door, so the Arctic's cooling mechanism is becoming less and less efficient as we lose the sea ice. And the Arctic is connected to the rest of the climate system. The Arctic is not like Las Vegas. What happens in the Arctic doesn't stay in the Arctic. And so as we are warming the Arctic, we're changing the balance between the cold Arctic and the lower latitudes that that potentially changes weather patterns, and we're already seeing evidence of that in terms of how the jet stream is changing. It's becoming less of a west to east flow and more of a loopy flow, kind of more north to south, which leads to more extreme events, things like droughts, things like torrential rains and flooding.
The issue of global warming has been a key topic in the US presidential campaign. Democratic nominee Hillary Clinton sees it as an immediate concern, but Republican rival Donald Trump dismisses it as only minor.
So let's just go over this again. I believe the elite have known for a very long time what is about to happen. So therefore, they know that there is a very large landmass under the South Pole, and it will melt rapidly and has been heating up internally for quite some time. There is no landmass in the North Pole. So basically, that will turn to an ocean like it used to be, and we will have increased ocean levels. With a crustal pole shift, naturally, there will be increased flooding across the entire world. So large portions of landmass will be lost. However, the elite, they know this all too well, so therefore they have already planned out their civilizations in the South Pole region. And it's a fact, folks. Just do a little investigation, do a little research, and you will clearly see this. The North Pole and the South Pole are now melting at a very, very rapid pace. And the South Pole is being heated internally. And I do believe in a very short amount of time, you will see the South Pole region becoming a multinational country. And with that said, I'd like to thank all of our Nibiru watchers. You guys do a fantastic job. Would also like to thank you for your loyal subscribership. You can continue to email your photographs and your video to NibiruPlanetX2016@gmail.com. And don't forget to share our videos with your friends and family members on Facebook. And subscribe to the Nibiru channel for all of our current updates. And like I always say, keep an eye in the sky.